So the College Football Playoff Committee has to make a decision in the next month or so whether or not to go to 12 teams. And the earliest that they can go to 12 teams is actually next year. And if they don't make the decision to go with that, 2025 is the closest year that they can make that next change. And they need to make it now. And this is what the video is going to be about. I was going to make a Cam Newton video, and I'll probably make that tomorrow. But it's Saturday. College football's on, so I'm going to talk about college football for the 90th time. And explain to you why my opinion has changed from previous times. Previously, in a couple videos ago, I mentioned that I wanted 2 teams, no playoff at all, and I've been told that's a very scorching hot take, but I'm one to try to make regular season games matter, and I was a fan of the playoff when it originally came out, but as time went on, I felt that no, the BCS wasn't the right answer, but it was kind of nice to just have the top 2 teams go at it and then make these what's now known as the New York Six Bowls, make those matter a little more, because you have teams that will go to the Sugar Bowl and it seemingly no one else cares. When I think in 2008, if you won the Cotton Bowl, that you were seen as a elite program, not national championship contenders, but it still mattered. And that's probably the most important thing for me as a college football fan, is I want these regular season games to matter. I'm all for trying to get rid of Prairie View A&M versus Alabama. I'm all for getting rid of that. But I also want to make sure that every team is given a fair shot. Like UTSA, if they win out, they should be a 12 seed. That's the truth of it. They haven't had the competition to be a top 10 team, but they've become undefeated. And if they go and beat Georgia, or I think it would be the 5th seed, Cincy, they should be able to have that chance to move on to the next round. And seemingly I've changed my opinion because there's no way around it. We're getting a playoff, right? And if you're going to bend my arm one way, I want a 12-team playoff, and it's the most fair way. It's better than an 8-team playoff. A 12-team playoff is the most fair way, where you can try to make the rankings still matter, even up till, like, for 1 through 4. Because 1 through 4 get the bye week, and then you have the 8 teams play and have the top 4 teams have a bye, obviously, and have them probably be conference champions, and then you have 8 other buy-in bids or whatever, right? And my biggest problem with usually expanding the playoff was the fact that no matter how far you expand it, even if it's 64, you're going to have people arguing about 65 and 64. And the same thing's going to happen, where the 13th best team is going to be like, well, I think I'm better than this 12th best team. But the thing is you're going to deal with that no matter what. And I think it's a little more separable at the farther range, like 12, 13, 14, that range, than trying to pull straws between 3 and 2 or 4 and 5. Because if you try to tell me Ohio State, Cincy, and Oregon right now, it's a toss-up, and I still think Cincinnati deserves a shot in the playoff if they win out, especially if they beat SMU today. As I'm recording, they play SMU. It's early in the morning. I'm watching right now Ohio State beat up on Michigan. But I feel like the correct answer, like as if we're all taking a test, and it's a multiple-choice test on like what's the best answer, and it's the 12-team playoff. And I know this is going with the majority of people's opinion, but it's also trying to explain why this is. Why are we going out? And the problem that we've had at 4 is the 4 best teams in the nation will go in, and that's all that matters. That's all that people will care about. That if you don't make the playoff, your program is terrible. And you have to be perfect, and you need all the stars to align, and you need the committee to go your way. And there's still changes that not only to the layout that need to be made, but to the committee's process. It should be a blend of, I'm going to sound like Joel Klatt, it should be a blend of analytics with like a BCS program, not solely a BCS program, but a algorithm, a committee, probably a larger committee with more diverse members, because the bias to these blue chip or kind of older programs like Notre Dame and things of that nature get heavily biased and heavily ranked versus programs that weren't good back in the 90s and 80s or the 2000s and are really solid now, and they don't get the benefit of the doubt because they aren't one of the pristine OGs of college football. And I feel, and when college football is really good, pardon my stutter, when college football is one of the best sports in the nation, period, when things aren't obviously so subjective. And right now, things feel so subjective to a point where it kind of dilutes the sport, and we need to dilute the committee to make things more logical. As Joe Klatt said, people, right now, we are on the edge of the bell curve when we need to be in the middle of it. And it's like simple fixes that will help college football in general. Like the NIL deals. Everyone thought that was going to be the end of college football. Team recruiting is going to be ruined. It's just kids profiting off of small things. Like, everybody will have a brand. Who cares? The best players in the world, they're going to end up getting the best deals. That's just reality. I hate to break it to you. Cincinnati, you weren't going to get the 5-star anyways. So what? It affects the needle a little bit, but not significantly as much as people thought it would. And I think college football is at a state right now where they need to make the change right now. That's why I'm making the videos, because the last time I think the vote got postponed or it got declined, they need to do it right now, because I don't know if I want to watch till 2025 4 best teams go in, and it's Alabama getting the benefit of the doubt even though they lose to an unranked team. Ohio State, even though they've struggled against everyone, now they're playing to go against Michigan State, make them the number 3 team, even though head-to-heads don't matter apparently, because head-to-heads need to matter, because then if they don't matter, then the regular season doesn't matter, and then guess what? The only thing that matters, you get to the conference championship. And I would not be surprised if Alabama lost to Georgia. They would be the 5th seed because Alabama gets the benefit of the doubt just because it's Alabama. And I understand that they have been in so many championships in previous years, and I understand that. But if they're not good this year, they're not good this year. That's the truth of it. And Alabama has looked shaky this year. They've been in a close game against Florida. They've been in a close game where they lost against A&M, in which A&M led that game for most of it. They had to come back against A&M. They were down against LSU for a little bit and almost lost that game if LSU had a competent quarterback. I just get frustrated the fact that they just get the benefit of the doubt. And we should be ranking the best teams for that year. That's why they do the thing for not Ohio State, Oklahoma. They rank them because they weren't winning clean. And I understand Alabama had some really solid SEC wins, and they should be ranked higher than Oklahoma, but they shouldn't be the unanimous second best team in the league. Like, it baffles my mind that that's what we're going with. And once the playoff committee's season is done, right? The rankings have been set, right? I'm gonna post a video on what a 12-team playoff, and I guarantee you, most people are gonna think, wow, why haven't we been doing this? Because giving a team a bye, because you're forcing a lot of programs to play a lot more games. You're probably gonna have more NFL prospects. Probably, it depends. In theory, you would think they would stay in because the games matter more, but then again, it's more games, more potential to get hurt. So we may have prospects opt out, and maybe something that you need to see in practice. And then, sorry, I'm a little nasally today. It's early in the morning. Then you have to give these top 4 teams an incentive to be in the top 4, because then if they're in the top 10, what's the point of, I mean, obviously you want to win, but if you're in the top 12, you're in the playoff, right? There has to be incentive to be at the top, other than home field advantage, right? Give them a bye. Give the top 4 a bye. Usually conference champions is what's probably going to be. And then the at-large bids, you just gotta, style points gotta matter for the smaller programs. It sucks. I don't want it to be the case, but uh, I would not be surprised if an Ole Miss team versus a UTSA team, they would put Ole Miss because Ole Miss has played tougher competition, and that's the truth of it. But you should be allowed to give teams like UTSA a chance if they win out. But I digress. I can go on about this for a while. But the 12-team playoff is the answer. They need to make this change now. If you like the video, please like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. I'm going to try to get an NFL video out tomorrow and then maybe a NBA video out on Monday. I'm trying to get as many videos out as possible, but see you.